President Trump defending the immigration clampdown that sparked a global backlash and protests over the weekend at various airports. Just moments ago, we also got word that President Trump will announce another executive action, this one on regulation. Now, he had said during the campaign that he would revoke 2 regulations for every 1 enacted on the ban. However, he tweeted this. Quote, only 109 people out of 325,000 were detained and held for questioning. Big problems at airports were caused by Delta computer outage. Protesters and Senator Schumer talking about tears in one of his tweets. Secretary Kelly said that all is going well with very few problems. Make America safe again. So a lot of reaction to this executive order. For the very latest, let's get to Kevin Cirilli, Bloomberg's chief Washington correspondent on Capitol Hill. Kevin, now that a day or two has passed, things have calmed down a little bit, at least at the airports. What are Congress people saying?
Well, Republicans have been tepid at best in terms of their support for President Trump and these executive actions. Now, later today, virtually every Democrat in both the House and the Senate will stand at the Supreme Court in opposition for these executive orders. Clearly, the executive orders coming from President Trump have sent a jolt here in Washington, D.C., particularly here in Capitol Hill.
And Kevin, do we anticipate more reaction to this today? We know we're getting more executive orders, at least one in the next hour. Will there be any more response from the administration or the White House or Steve Bannon or anybody on this executive order?
Well, the flashes coming across the Bloomberg as we speak regard one particular executive order pertaining to regulations and President Trump revoking a former rule from a previous administration that there would have to be 2 new regulations for every 1 that is revoked. And of course, he is removing that. I would note that he also, of course, essentially called a game over between his fight with Lockheed Martin and Boeing. He praised Lockheed Martin and Boeing for shaving off what he viewed as wasteful spending in terms of their fighter jet programs. That, of course, is good news if you're at Lockheed Martin and Boeing, and it suggests that perhaps a better relationship with these 2 large defense contractors is on the way.
Kevin, Donald Trump clearly trying to shift the agenda, but it's unlikely he'll be able to do so. What else can you tell us with regards to the White House's response? They're blaming Delta. They're blaming protesters for the events at the weekend.
Correct. They're also blaming the media. But I think that when you take a broader step back, what you're seeing is that there was not a cohesive messaging strategy coming from the White House on the executive orders that were put forth on Friday. I would very much note that just before these executive orders were announced, it was made public that Steve Bannon was elevated within the administration to the National Security Council, putting him on footing with very senior intelligence officials. It suggests that Steve Bannon's role within the Trump administration is growing and that he has great influence within this White House. I would also suggest that tomorrow we are anticipating that Mr. Trump will announce his unveiling for the nomination to the Supreme Court. That, of course, will also jolt the Capitol Hill and ignite a debate here in Washington. Either way, I think when you take a look at the first 10 days of President Trump's time in office, you are noticing that he is doing everything he said he would do when he campaigned, and he's doing it through executive orders.